Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I thought I'll talk about a topic of conversation in the muscular dystrophy community. It's about transition to adult care. Feel like every single adult here, you went from going to a clinic or seeing a doctor, seeing your doctor that sees kids, teenagers, pre-teenager, and all that. But once you turn 18, you have to move to adult care. Basically go to a clinic where your doctor sees adult patients. And for people with muscular dystrophy, we have to transition all of our care team, respiratory, cardiologist, neurologist, primary care doctor, and so on. We all have to do it, like even adults that don't have a disability, but it's going to be challenging. There's a lot of challenges there, but I mean, I'm 25 already, but from what I learned from my experience, it's being prepared as early as possible, maybe around, I'll say, 16, 17, 15, maybe. Start like planning ahead for their adult care, because if you don't, it's a struggle. You don't have a plan already, so when that time comes, you know what you need to do. So anyway, I found this article called Facing the Future, the Challenges of Transition to Adult Care and Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. So this video is not just for people, it's mostly focused for people with muscular dystrophy, but I feel like this could be for any disability, because once you transition to adult care, it's like it's a whole different ball game, I'll say. So I'll start reading a little bit what it says. Hopefully, we find some good tips for anyone who's watching this and who's still not at this stage of life yet, but it's always nice to prepare and stuff. So this is what it says. As a parent, few things in life can compare to our children moving into the world as independent adults. I forgot to mention this. There's a certain once your son daughter turns 18, it's like it's all about being independent, and stuff like that. Being an adult, doing adult things, adulthood, whatever you want to call it. It says it's an emotional loaded event full of excitement, nostalgia, and anxiety. Everything we have done has led to this moment. Even if we have done all we can to prepare them, we will never stop wondering how have I done enough. Like obviously your parents, when you're like a minor, they tell you from what's good, what's bad. But once they turn 18, it's like, did I do enough, like, to, you know, make them be good people in out there in the world? But it's a little different. Like it's gonna start talking about that. It's a little different for someone who has muscular dystrophy or any type of disability. But there's cases that there's disability that the person can actually have do things, on their own. They can be independent adults just like the rest of you guys that don't have a disability. But when it comes to muscular dystrophy or any type of disability like muscular dystrophy, it's a whole different ball game when you become an adult. So I'll get to that part. For parents and children with muscular dystrophy, these moments are becoming increasingly common, and improvements in treatment are helping more patients live well into adulthood. Yes, there's a lot of treatments out there, you know, but sadly, I'm not candidate for none of them. But it's nice to see that there's going to be a game changing stuff going on in the treatment world for people with muscular dystrophy. They probably won't have to go through a lot of things us adult people with muscular dystrophy have want to go through and stuff. But it's unfortunately the care system and resource generate gener, gener, generic towards pediatric region, having kept up with this transition. Marisa understands this better than most. A mom of three, her youngest son Joseph was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy (DMD) at 5 years old. In the earliest stages, after his my number one priority was saving my son. Marisa said, when Joseph last emulation, I think, it brought into sharp focus the challenge they would face in the years ahead. That was a heavy time, Marisa recalled. We think about losing the ability to walk as a physical thing, but the emotional toll of navigating this new life was devastating. There was practical question like getting the best wheelchair for him, modifying our house, transporting, just helping him navigate this new world and pursue his dream. We were also going through so much in our life at that time. My daughter was about to go to college. I was a nearly single parent. My parents were in the final years of their life and needed care, and it was just too much. I mean, I feel like that's the case for most people who have someone with a disability. Everything seems to be stacked against you. Some of them, for most people, like you heard right here. I had a great support in health insurance, but I was bucking under the weight. I asked it, I know how other people did it, and she told me they did, and they struggle to make it to doctor because they can't afford train fare into the city. The outrage me that caring for a child with a life-limiting condition was paid to play. So many people suffer without access to resources, even basic care. I needed to do something to level the playing field. That's why I founded Team Joseph with the mission of funding research and offering direct financial support to families. Even seemingly simple things like wheelchair ramps and shower safe chair can make a huge difference. They make a huge difference. I know people that don't have a disability probably don't see how it makes a big difference, but it does for those that have someone with a disability. If you have someone with a family, if you know someone or have a family with a disability, you probably have somewhat of an understanding how important it is. But if you don't, then just hearing my testimony, maybe you better understand. Like it is a game changer. Ram's shower chair, wheelchair, any equipment is a game changer for people living with a disability, any disability. There's disabilities that don't need so much equipment, you know, but there's other that do, like muscular dystrophy is one of them. Every equipment you get is a game changer, makes life easier for people living with this diagnosis or any diagnosis not related to muscular dystrophy. But this video is focused on muscular dystrophy. Then since the whole article is going to be talking about that and stuff. And since after Joseph diagnosed, Maurice worked to ensure he had access to the best care they could find, along with sampling local care. She worked with Reno Duchenne, especially at the same time. Marisa was thinking long term about involving Joseph in discussions about his own care and future. My approach was to acknowledge Joseph's medical needs while also talking to him the way I did my other kid, Maurice. We talked all the time about what he wanted to do when he grew up and if he wanted to go to college, which he did. I went to college as well, despite having my disability, and this is what he says. My goal was to help him communicate about his vision for the future and getting him to believe that he had a future. It took a lot of work and preparation, but Joseph was unlimitedly accepting to university. He's currently in his senior year and living in an apartment with his friends. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you have like people that you feel like comfortable living with, because there's people you might know, a lot of people, but it's like, would you be, you know, do you think you feel comfortable living, with friends, family member, whoever, living because you have this disability, you know what I mean, and stuff. But if you have people, supportive people that you feel comfortable living with, I mean, I'll say, and they will be able to assist you with your needs, you know, I'll say go for it. If you can have people that you feel comfortable with, like living with, like Joseph right here in the article, he had friends that he probably felt comfortable with, and stuff, because we might know people and here and there, but it's like, do we really feel like comfortable with them and stuff? There's a lot to think about before you take this decision, I'll say. The summer before Joseph left for college was busy for everyone. Marissa called. I had a lot of time about getting him ready. I knew I'll have a lot of sleepless night ahead, just as I did for my other kid. I spent a lot of time coordinating care on campus and focusing on what he needed to say what maximize their college experience. Exactly. Like sometimes people are not able to provide, like families are not able to provide this, so they prefer them to be, you know, locally stay at a local college. I stayed at a local college, community college, then 2 years at the other, 2 years at my local university. But but if you're able to, if your family is like able to, manage you to go to a different college out of state, despite having a disability, I'll say go for it. Like it's gonna be hard, there's gonna be challenges probably along the way, but but as long as you coordinate well, how you have a plan, you know, going into college and stuff, if you're gonna, take a big step in your life, despite having a disability, going to a different college away, there's a lot of challenges and stuff, but if you have a game plan, I'll call it game plan or plan, it will make things a lot easier. There'll still be struggles and challenges, but you'll probably find a way to you know, figure them out along the way. Well, helping Joseph manage his care in college was challenging. There was more challenge ahead as he turned 21. Some care center will keep a patient for their lifetime, which I doubt it. Like it's very little percentage that that some care center will keep a patient their lifetime. Maurice says, but when Joseph turned 21, his local care center stopped seeing it. When he was younger, all his care was coordinated exactly. I already faced that challenge. I'm 25, so I already went through that. Now his care is run by specialists when managed 7-10 relationship with different and they, as long as we have breath in our lungs and our hearts are beating, we have something to contribute. As for Joseph, he's already found a way to contribute by creating comfort, especially for patient age 14 up to help enter into adulthood. Which that's that what now virtual comfort recruited roster speaker that include doctor from across the country, an expert in disability law, a career coach, and so much more. Additionally, every panel was induced and monitored by a law with Duchenne Joseph's Jose is also completing his sports journalism major and hopes to either write sports story or work in a research department supporting broadcasting. While he's trying to figure out how he turn his passion into career, just like any other young adult making their way in the world. For for some reason, would like to see the discussion about the change of care start early. There needs to be more coordinated handoff of care, where it's not just the transfer of records of a referral but a conversation between providers and family, and that conversation needs to include a young adult patient so they can talk about what's important to them. Oh, I think I skipped another part. Sorry. Don't talk to each other the way they did in the past. So now we're in position of reeducating himself, working with his girlfriend has learned to coordinate all those logics. This is like the part that I missed. Like the first part of the article was then I was had to go to the other side and stuff. So bear with me. It's an art. Ironic and patient get it all into chamber where they need their needs escalate, but the ability to find or access the care they need diminish. It's been a beautiful surprise that patient are living long, but we haven't officially planned for them living a life of dignity and fullness. Yep. I feel like that's like the issue because for many years, muscular dystrophy was always seen as, it still is a progressive disability, but doctors and stuff didn't really expect patients to outlive a certain age. But now with all this medication, I think they were not prepared for people with muscular dystrophy to live longer. I think that was maybe the medical world wasn't ready for that future. It's great to hear that people with muscular dystrophy is living longer, but it seems like the medical field is not ready for how to move, how to, I don't know what the right word would be, like how to manage this, I'll say. We celebrate progress medically and advancement in treatment, but we must balance that with an acknowledgement that some people don't have access to care treatment and the necessary medical equipment to maximize their later years. To change care for adults should completely current among all ideally it would also include element mental health not as an opinion or an add-on but as an think about how could we should also focus on meaning, burden, and how the patient can contribute to society. That matter because he has a lot of offers. I already read that part where it says, as long as we have breath in our lungs. I read that part. The last part says, I love to see our broader community of parents, HCP, pharma, vacu, advisory thing is it foster the idea that we may think we represent those living with Duchenne, but when those with Duchenne are living deep into adulthood, the most powerful thing we can do is to create a space just for them to talk more, to ask more, and to celebrate what they achieve while honoring that there's still much more to do. Yes, there's a struggle, a lot of patients with muscular dystrophy have dealt with this. I have dealt with this in the past. Still deal with a lot of challenges when it comes to adult care and stuff. But I think I have managed to somehow get all my, equipment. Have a team of specialists, neurologists. All the important things if you have muscular. Neurology, physical therapy, occupational therapy, respiratory therapists, and primary care doctor, all that, but some people just, I feel like I probably was lucky. Some people, are lucky enough to find, a good medical team and like have a good insurance and stuff and so on to, help you out in the future, but I hope like the medical world starts like having more access for adult care for people with muscular dystrophy, and stuff like that for the future, manage have like hospitals, maybe make like a children's hospital for adults, the adult version of children's hospital, instead of calling children's hospital we can call it adult hospital or something like that, would be nice, that children's hospital, build or any other of the big, you know, medical places, would, create like one for adults, like I said, children's hospital and stuff like that. Maybe they could create an adult version, If you think about it, I think that would be a good idea, but we'll see what happens, what the future holds. But the future looks bright when it comes to the treatment, but hope the medical, world could, have better, adult care because we already have the treatment, which that's good, but take the next step and have a little bit more better of a medical field, the medical field be a little bit more prepared to treat, adult care, be more preferred adult care for people with muscular dystrophy. There are adults. Hope we can see that in the future. So I thought that was a good video to talk about, transition from being, a minor to being a young adult, and stuff like that. So I hope you guys like this video. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride.